I've been building a few custom keyboards lately, but I haven't made a single video of how I built them. So I decided to make this video to show you guys the whole process of building a custom keyboard. This video can also give you a quick overview of what to do if you are unfamiliar with building a keyboard. So yeah, let's begin. The case is the F18X by Geon Works. It's a TKL form factor with a 9-degree typing angle. It was run in 2020 as a Korea-only group buy, which means it's pretty difficult for people outside Korea to get the board. And the only option left is to get it from the aftermarket. The board retails around $320, but due to its popularity, the prices keep going up to around $1,000 in the aftermarket. And even with the ridiculously high price, it's also not easy to find one. And judging from the title, I guess you already know how I get the board. The one that I got has a raw aluminum top case and polycarbonate bottom case. With the shiny raw aluminum and stainless steel weights, the board just looks beautiful. Yes, I think that's the only way I could express my opinion on it. You can also see the weights through the bottom case, which I think is really cool as well. Other parts to complete the build are also included in the carrying case, like PCB, plate, O-ring gaskets and foam. But the foam here is optional for the build. I won't be using the foam in this build because I've watched many typing test videos with the keyboard and I think it sounds better without the foam. The first thing I do when building a keyboard is to lube the switches first because it is the longest process. For this build I'm using Gateron black inks. They are pretty popular linear switches and many people have been telling me to build a keyboard with these switches. I lube them with Krytox 25G0 and 105 for the springs. Usually lubing them takes me around 2 hours or more to finish. I also filmed the switches with Deskeys films to reduce time wobble and make them sound better. The PCB that I got is soldered PCB, but I'm gonna make it hot swap by soldering mil-max sockets onto it. The reason is I might want to test different switches in the future to figure out which switches sound the best with the board. After I finish soldering the sockets, I move on to the stabilizers. In this build, I'm gonna be using Cherry PCB mount stabilizers. I know that there are better options like Durock or Zeal screw-in stabilizers, but from my experience, these stabilizers can be good depending on how well you mount them. I usually loop the stems and the housings with 205G0, and for the wire, I'm using Krytox BDZ loop. This loop is thick, so if you're using it for your stabilizers, be careful not to put too much loop because it can make your stabs feel mushy. After I looped all the stabilizers, I want to test them first to ensure they don't rattle before putting all the parts back together. The plate I'm going to use for this build is an aluminum leaf spring plate. I've heard that the leaf spring plate provides a bouncier typing experience than the normal one. Personally, I've never tried a leaf spring plate before, so I'm curious about the typing experience. Now it's time to put the switches in. After that, all I need to do now is to put all the parts together. The screws that hold the top and bottom case are hidden beneath the feet. I really like this, and in my opinion, this is 200 IQ because it makes the keyboard looks really clean. I also want to mention this real quick. These 6 stainless steel weights make the keyboard really heavy. Because of these weights, I think this is the heaviest keyboard I own by far. And I genuinely believe you can use this keyboard as a weapon. Assembling it is really simple. I just have to put the PCB with the installed switches on top of the bottom piece, and since this is an O-ring gasket mounted keyboard, I have to install the O-ring strips on the top case and under the plate. And just like that, put back the top case and screw everything back in. For the keycaps, I'm using Epbt black on white. I think the simple black on white color really complements the clean look of the raw aluminum case. And for the cherry on top of the build, I'm using a Geon aluminum keycap and some resin keycaps that I made myself. It actually took me a lot of tries to make these resin keycaps, but in the end, I'm pretty satisfied with the result as these look really good with the keyboard. And of course, it won't be complete without the cable. This is a custom coiled cable. I ordered this from a local custom cable maker in Indonesia and the quality of the cable is excellent. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this build. The only thing I would experiment is probably trying different switches with the board, since I'm not really sure whether the Gateron black ink is a perfect match with this board. But other than that, the soft typing feel, quality and everything else are just perfect. Of course, it's really pricey considering I got the board from the aftermarket, but if I was able to get it for retail, this keyboard is absolutely worth the price. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.